Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am McAlphining. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you could, please click that like button, turn it into a rocket, and send it to the stratosphere. So, there has been a lot of FUD in the market over the last few weeks. And there's no shortage of individuals who have been spreading the FUD, but I'm going to clear some of these things up. Those of us who are long holders of banking coins, I want to be specific about that, banking coins, we have been devouring the dip, just chewing up the correction and increasing our millions exponentially. It's been a wonderful time, fabulous time. I've been buying a lot more XLM, a lot more XRP, Cello, Algorand, and a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot more VeChain, okay? So it's been a delicious time. Muy linda, mi gente. Muy linda, mi gente. A wonderful time for those of us who know what we hold and hold banking coins. Now, I usually let FUD just blow right past me. Means absolutely nothing. But this one here, a little dangerous. So I'm going to address this here because this individual holds a lot of power. Their word holds a lot of weight. And I don't want this individual's words and weight to not be counterbalanced with a more rational and modernized way of thinking on these particular topics. OK, so we have Vice Chair for Supervision Randakl Quarles. OK. This is on the website of the federalreserve.gov /news events, if you want to follow, if you want to read this yourself. This is from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. And this is why I'm saying this piece of FUD here is quite dangerous for long-term investors who might be shaken by this. All right, so we're going to dispel some of this nonsense that this individual, Randakl Quarles, Vice Chair for Supervision, is spreading. And it was a hefty bag of FUD. Okay, so let's begin here. Let's start in the section that is titled Policy Considerations. All right, it says, yet proponents of a Federal Reserve central bank digital currency believe that it would solve a number of significant problems. It would. That's without a shadow of a doubt. I'm going to lay out the first fact for you, sir, because I believe through this article, and I have read it quite thoroughly, that you're highly misinformed. You state that the commercial banks utilizing the current structure of digital movement of dollars is fine and that it is okay, when yet people have to wait multiples of days for their money to clear for them to even be able to utilize it, okay, in the different ways that it is currently being instituted, as far as the institutions, the banks themselves, being able to move the money around. Now, second thing I want to raise to you is that, and I know you know this, but there's many people that don't and will take your word as law. Now, also, the banks have been hemorrhaging money. Now, while it has been sort of glossed over that the banks were bailed out a multitude of times over the last 2 decades, banking on every level has been hemorrhaging money. It's too expensive to send money and receive money. And thus the banks are not taking in the profit that they should. They should be washing themselves in profit, in success, but they cannot. A central bank digital currency does help to solve that because utilizing the systems of XRP, XLM, Algorand is extremely cheap. It's extremely cheap, so banks will be taking in tons of money, making a lot of money and saving even more money. Why do I say that? Let me give you a fact, okay? So here we're going to click on this link here from fool.com, all right, /investing. It says banks are set to lose $280 billion in revenue. You don't believe that a system that is cheaper, more efficient, more secure, and faster, which is going to make people more apt, the society at large, more apt to use that banking system. There's a lot of people that don't trust the banking system. There's a lot of people that just can't afford the checking account fees and things like that, savings account fees of the various banks. But you don't believe that people will be more apt to utilize a system that is more easily accessible, more secure, and costs almost nothing to run, right? This allows the banks a greater opportunity also to provide affordable means for individuals in the society to utilize the banks, which makes them more money as well. So now they're saving money, they're more secure, and they're bringing in more capital. That is a win on 3 of the key levels that you could possibly win on as a business that is trying to bring in a profit. I don't understand this argument. $280 billion in revenue they stand to lose. You don't believe that the old archaic system needs to be done away with so that the banks can save that money, can make an increase on that money that they saved and bring in a hefty profit? Now, understand that, yes, it does benefit us holders of these particular protocol, but that does not negate the facts. The facts that the CBDC, which would be built on the blockchain structure, okay, is highly beneficial. So what you're saying, in my opinion, from the data that I've analyzed, is completely incorrect. Let's go back to your words, though. It says, proponents of a Federal Reserve CBDC believe that it would solve a number of significant problems. They suggest, for example, that a Federal Reserve central bank digital currency may be necessary to defend the critical role of the U.S. dollar the U.S. dollar plays in the global economy. This is also true. Let me just highlight that very quickly so I don't lose my place. This is also true. We live in a new age. Please see with a new mind, or a new pair of eyes, if you will, metaphorically speaking, because people have been more willing now to use a decentralized finance, decentralized banking methods, to various degrees, stable coins, and all types of cryptocurrencies, all various types of other types of fiat currencies over the US dollar, because of how the US dollar is being printed currently. It's being printed to a point where its value is plummeting, okay? So the world at large is not as stupid as you might think it is. So people are turning to alternative methods to send currency here and there and to receive currency. All right. So what a central bank digital currency does is it saves the banks from that encroachment. You understand? And that encroachment is major. There's businesses who are willing to put money into Bitcoin. And that probably will only increase with the various types of cryptocurrencies. People will be, and businesses will be more willing to place their money into cryptocurrency where they can guarantee it's going to be safer. I can't say 100%, nothing that is absolute, but safer, and increase on the money that they are holding, rather than to utilize the US dollar that is plummeting in value and that is becoming sort of a bad taste in a lot of the people who are capital workers' mouths. And by capital workers, I mean people that own businesses, investors, banks. We all are desiring en masse, I can't say everyone, but en masse, a system that is more efficient and beneficial to us, whatever us may be defined as. Everyone wants that benefit. A CBDC built on the blockchain technology of XRP, XLM, algorithm, these types of protocols, as I'm sure that MIT research has shown, and I believe you know this, but as the research has shown, is highly beneficial, efficient, saves money, and benefits everyone. So I believe I addressed this particular point quite thoroughly. Let's continue on here. They suggest, for an example, that a Federal Reserve CBDC may be necessary to defend the critical role of the US dollar plays in the global economy. Yes, the US dollar will lose its spot. It needs something to bring and breathe life back into it. A central bank digital currency does that on every level, no matter how much you want to deny. Let's continue on here. Others say that a CBDC would overcome long-standing economic inequalities in American society. See, now you're just deliberately talking in absolutes. No one says that as an absolute, but it is a possibility that the CBDCs do introduce. There are many people coming here. Well, let's start out with the people that are already here. There are many people here that cannot utilize the banking system, yet they need to receive money and they need to be sending money to a myriad of places across the world and within the United States. And they cannot do that with the current system, but they could do that with a central bank digital currency built on rails of cryptocurrencies that are extremely cheap to send. You almost pay nothing, less than a penny to send large amounts of money here and there. This helps those types of individuals. Also individuals who are coming here, migrants who are coming from other countries that may have an issue of some sort utilizing the system for a myriad of reasons, can also utilize these services to receive money and send money. This solves a huge problem. So while it's not an absolute, how you're trying to make it seem so that it seems quite silly to wise minds, no one speaks in absolutes, but it presents the opportunity for such. And yes, I do believe that it would be utilized en masse by those who are not fortunate enough to be able to participate in the current archaic system that you are promoting. Let's continue on. Let's go forward here. So others say that a CBDC would overcome long-standing economic inequalities in American society. As we begin our FUD analysis of these issues, which you've already begun, but see, more deceptive language says, as we begin our FUD analysis. You've already begun it. You've been running these things through MIT for a long time, as the documents and proof of MIT and documents and statements issued by the Boston Federal Reserve have stated. So see, even your wording is a little bit, I have to take it with a grain of salt. Your wording is a little bit deceptive, in my humble opinion, sir. So let's continue on here. I will have to be convinced that, well, let's rewind. As we begin our FUD analysis of these issues, I will have to be convinced that a CBDC is a particularly good tool to address either of these issues. I just stated how it's a good tool to address a bevy of issues, actually. and the use cases are there. The research is there. MIT said that they would be shearing up and completing their research by July, and July is here. So sometime this month, you'll be able to read a very large, succinct report from MIT about blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies being implemented for central bank digital currencies. The question is, will you issue another statement once you have all of that provided data and once you have read through it and understand the facts? That is the question. Let's continue on here. I will have to be convinced that a CBDC is a particularly good tool to address either of these issues, about which I am skeptical. We can tell that you are. And I will especially have to be convinced that the potential benefits of developing a Federal Reserve central bank digital currency outweigh the potential risks. Let's examine some arguments raised by the CBDC supporters. The first argument is that a Federal Reserve should develop a CBDC to defend the U.S. against dollar against threats that would be posed by foreign CBDCs. Okay, so you're kind of reiterating something you said before, but let me touch on it let me address it in a different manner. Let's say another country, a very large world power, comes out with their central bank digital currency. It's super secure. It's moving extremely fast, and it's so cheap that it's less than a penny. Why would I or other individuals, be it retail investors, people in the business world, or just the common denizens and citizens of the world, why would they not utilize that system over the United States system? When the United States system, it would be used to our detriment. So it doesn't matter where it's coming from. You're not understanding. In this new world, we're not concerned with so much, not everyone. I don't want to speak in absolutes, but a lot of individuals are not so concerned with where the protocol is coming from. We're going to look at the data. We're going to look at the security. We're going to look at the speed. We're going to look at the cost and what it saves us and say to ourselves, is this something that's beneficial to us? And if it is, no matter where it came from, as long as it's not an extremely bad source, We're going to use the technology. This is what you're not understanding, which would leave an old archaic system like the one that you're currently promoting. It will leave it behind. It would lose. It would fail. It would be devastated. And that's what they mean by protecting the U.S. dollar. Okay, or the idea really of the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar means so many things. You know, you have the paper, you have the legal tender, then you have the certain digital means they're using now, which are all archaic and inferior to blockchain technology. You will have other countries issuing central bank digital currencies, which are superior to what the United States is using, and people will opt to use that. I believe that this is very simple to understand. Let's continue on here. Taking the threat from foreign CBDCs first, this argument presumes that at least some foreign currencies, all of which are already highly digitized. You keep saying this, and I know I haven't read the entire article to my audience, but I read the entire article before I made the video. But you keep iterating that they're already using highly digitized assets, just as the United States has been using digitized assets. And you're glossing over the fact and leaving out the details that they're very expensive. They move like the old system does, with a lot of expenses, a lot of loss of money, is very slow, and is very insecure. You're leaving that out. It's very non-secure. And that blockchain technology is the opposite. That is very secure, very fast, and saves money. You're leaving that out. And that is a very important part of the puzzle if we're going to address these particular topics, in my humble opinion. Let's continue on here. Already highly digitized in our current international banking system. Let me pause there for a second also. I don't know if you're privy. I do a lot of research, a lot of reading. Crypto is what I love. Crypto is what I do. And even the Bank of International Settlements, I made a video on this recently, is promoting central bank digital currency. The oldest banks in Europe are promoting central bank digital currencies, doing research. Ukraine, Japan, all of these are utilizing, studying, and looking how to implement central bank digital currencies built on the blockchain. So, you continuing to iterate that they already have a highly digitized system is not taking into account that they're looking for a more efficient system. It's not just about digitizing the system. It's about all of those other aspects that I've been talking about, that I have been shouting from the rooftops about for so long, especially in this video here now. So it's not about it being digitized or highly digitized. It's about the efficiency of that system. Let's not say digitized, let's say system. The efficiency of that system. What does it do? How secure is it? These are the things that we need to be covering, that you are clearly and deliberately, I might say, because you're quite quite an intelligent individual, you're deliberately leaving out here. And this is why this, I said at the beginning of this video, is very dangerous FUD. Because people will take what you're saying as law. They'll be selling off their assets. I mean, they can do whatever they please. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, but they will be selling their digital assets. And then when everything is utilized and there is regulatory clarity, your tune might change. And when those systems are implemented and these coins are worth a lot of money, that's going to be making generational wealth, those individuals who listen to voices and thoughts such as yours would be on the losing end. They would not have even taken the opportunity. And when I speak about these types of individuals, I'm talking about people who have put in investments and such, right? And they haven't been to their detriment. They're not losing anything. This is like extra money that they worked hard for, that they invest in XLM, XRP, Algorand and such. They're not hurting, but they read your FUD and then they sold all of their assets. And then these assets stand to have a parabolic run at some point, possibly, highly probably, and then those individuals will be on the losing end. So what I'm doing is just providing a counterbalance to all of this fear that you're trying to spread within this particular sector, when all of the data points opposite to what you're saying. All of the data, even your own Boston Federal Reserve counterparts, colleagues, their data points the other way. All right, so now let's continue on here. See if there's anything else to address. Will suddenly pose a much greater challenge to the dollar if that digitization is accomplished through a direct central bank digital currency instead of through the current digital payment system. In this view, the US dollar will lose its place in the global economy, that's what I was just saying, if the Federal Reserve does not offer a similar product. Now, you're using the word similar. It's very dangerous. What the people are desiring, those who desire a central bank digital currency, is an efficient product, not a similar product. Your wording is very dangerous, very deliberate also, but that doesn't work on me. What we want is an efficient product, one that moves us forward into the future instead of having us spinning our wheels like a car stuck in the mud like the current system has been doing. Riddle me this. Why did you have to bail out all of these banks so many different times if that current system with the highly digitized assets that you've been talking about is functional and has been working? It has not, as I said before. The data shows that system has been archaic, old, antiquated, and it has become highly redundant and ridiculous. And it's time, and I believe all the major figures are in agreement with this, even up to Christine Lagarde of the International Monetary Fund, a lot of the heads at the Bank of International Settlements, which they just had a large meeting with a myriad of banking heads, very intelligent people, I might add, sir. Everyone is clamoring for a new system that moves us, not only the United States, but the world as a whole, forward in a better way, where people can save more money, they're more secure, and we reap a lot of the benefits that the current system does not have. Which then raises the question of why are you promoting such an antiquated system, and where do your interests truly lie? I mean, there's many things I can ask, but I won't go too far. I just want to counterbalance here. It says, I think it's inevitable that as the global economy and financial system continue to evolve, some foreign currencies, including some foreign CBDCs, will be used more in the international transactions than they currently are. It seems highly unlikely, however, that the dollar's status as a global reserve currency or dollar's role as the dominant currency in the international financial transactions will be threatened by a foreign CBDC. And see, now this is a portion of your words where I doubt the clarity of which you are thinking. Wasn't it a time period where people doubted that the United States would never be the singular most powerful country in the world? And now you have other countries who have risen to power, and they definitely threaten the United States' stature as the greatest and number one country in the world when it comes to making money, innovations, and where everyone else in the world is looking towards to be a leader, a guiding light, so to speak, in the world. There has been a power struggle. No one can deny this. So now that people will have to question that, we also should take into account the same thing can happen when it comes to digital money or just money as a whole, currency as one whole body. It is very, very easy for people to look at something that is better and go towards that in mass. So yes, keeping up with the rest of the world or even exceeding them in technology is very important. In systems is very important. In education is very important, which I'm doing here, trying to spread some information that other people may not know who will hear your words before my own, or maybe they will hear my words before yours. But either way, I'm trying to educate. But these things are important to try to do your best at, not to rest on your laurels, to just lay back and be comfortable, because when you're laying back and being comfortable, someone else will pass you up. They will pass you up, and they will be saving all of the millions of dollars, and they will grow from it. They will become more powerful from it. My interest lies in the fact that by everyone utilizing this better system, that investors such as myself will also greatly benefit. That is no secret. We will become millionaires and billionaires like that. Okay. It just takes a little bit of patience. So that's where my interests lie. And I just want to make that apparent, which is why I'm saying that. But in saying that, it shows that we all benefit from this. The common citizen, the banks, the government, a lot of your peers agree, as well as investors. We all will benefit from this. Lovely, beautiful, muy linda, mi gente. The price of that protocol will raise. The banks will be making a profit. The people will save a lot of money using these particular rails of XRP, XLM, algo, and etc. Everyone benefits from this. So what I'm going to do is stop right there. This is a very long article. Once again, I reiterate that is on federalreserve.gov/news events. And I believe that you wise viewers out there, if you go here and you read this article, which was written by, let me read the title one more time so you can find it easily. It's titled Parachute Pants and Central Bank Money by Vice Chair for Supervision Randakl K. Quarles. Quarles, okay? So you can find this yourself and read it yourself. And I believe that in your wisdom, you will see that this individual's words point out a few things. Number one, there may be people within the federal government who are highly misinformed. And number two, this may be a part of a massive shakeout. In my opinion, I think about this very lightly because nothing's going to shake me. I know what I hold, right? I know what these protocols do. I know how they're going to be utilized and seeing what's going on. I've read all the data. I've also reached out to a lot of very important, powerful people and had different discussions. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that's happening behind the scenes. We can't go deep into those things because so many non-disclosure agreements have been signed. All right, that's just the facts. So the people who are truly in the know cannot say anything because they have signed NDAs, as they should, legally speaking. So I know what I hold, but others who could be damaged by you, in your words, deserve the opportunity for a counterbalance. And now they can go and read your words for themselves. And I believe they will see just how lacking in substance and clarity your words have. All right. So we don't believe in FUD over here. We buy the dip. As long as it's not detrimental to us, we buy the dip. We love the corrections we're holding. At least the banking coins we're holding. I'm not going to hold everything, but just the banking coins, XLM, algo, cello, XRP. Oh yeah, we're holding. We're not going anywhere. We're not shaking. We're actually salivating at the mouth. Listen, if you make the prices go lower, it's only better for us. Not going anywhere. So now that you guys have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.